Welcome back. Well, we've had a super busy news week, and that tends to happen when federal parliament sits, of course. And in Peter's absence, I've tried to jump on all the gritty and controversial stuff throughout the course of the week, but I don't want the week to pass without all of us remembering what really matters at the moment in this country, which is the suffering and heartbreak of this drought in rural Australia. In a small corner of New South Wales is a little town called Trundle. I used to live nearby to Trundle, and these people are absolute salt of the red earth. 3 years they've been battling away in the dust and the heat in this drought. Some have simply given up. They've walked off the land and they've left the district. But one bloke, the local school principal of Trundle Central School, has been doing a mammoth job raising money, goods and services, raising spirits, and even fighting Mother Nature. So much so, he's been featured by international news agencies and has been nominated for awards as well. This is a story of great inspiration in the face of extreme hardship. I caught up with JohnSouthon a little earlier today. I know this area rather well, having lived in parks for a couple of years. When it gets dry, it gets bone dry. Can you sort of describe that for our viewers to give them an idea of how dry it is at this time of the year?
Well, this is the worst drought ever, Chris. So basically, if you go 1.5 metres away from where we've been irrigating to try to keep our lawn green for the kids, it just goes to red dirt. And it's just, as I was saying earlier, we've just had dust storm after dust storm. So we are in some pretty crisis times as far as country New South Wales is concerned in this drought.
What are the locals doing about stock and crops? Like, I doubt whether many would have even got a crop in. And as for feeding, it's a situation of you can't simply hand feed forever, can you?
No, look, we're in our third year now where the crops have failed. They should be up around your knees, and the people that were either had to or took the gamble of putting some crop in, they're turning blue at the moment from moisture stress. So I just don't know how they cope myself. You know, it's just mental health must be terribly hard to maintain when that's happening. As far as feeding's concerned, I have a farmer that's got kids in the school here. They're spending $4,800 a week to try to keep their breeding stock alive, because most farmers are destocked down to the bare minimum of their breeders. But the problem is that when the drought breaks, and it will break because we had floods here 4 years ago, so it will break, they won't have any income for years. And that's what I'm trying to express to people, that it's just not a matter of getting 2, 3, 4 inches of rain and the drought will break. It's a matter of getting follow-up rain and years to get back to where we were before this drought started, if we do it all. I don't know what the recovery will look like, Chris, because I know lots of people are saying that they're got 2 or 3 months to go and that's it. They're going to destock completely and try to get out. So that'll be a shame for country culture and country towns such as Trundle.
So all of a sudden you're seeing kids that simply won't go to school. They'll move to a large regional centre, maybe even the city, and get off the land completely.
Yeah, well, we've lost 22 kids this year because there's no work in the town. And it's not, at the moment, it's not the farmers. It's the people on the periphery that rely on the farmers for work, like our shearers, farm labourers, contractors, those type of things. If there's no work, you can't feed your family, and that's what you do as a human being. What you sign up for when you have kids is to maintain them and make them happy and feed them. So it's going to get to the stage where our kids aren't going on the land. I've got kids now that are telling me, they say, "Southon, it's just too tough." You know, and they're going from thinking they're going to be farmers to, you know, I want to be a truck driver, or I want to work in a mine, or I want to do something, because they want to get money that is constant and consistent. And farming's not like that.
Mm. And so all of a sudden all these farms end up for sale. The tone, the culture, the place that we know as Trundle changes over generations because the kids say, I'm not going to put myself through what I saw my parents go through.
Absolutely. And I have farmers that are saying, it used to be in a joking term that farming was child abuse, but now they're actually serious. They're saying, why would I want my kids to go through this? If we want to see country towns like your Trundles, your Tullamores, your Trangies, these type of towns, if you want to see them in 20 years' time, we need some help. We need people to know what's going on.
talking about help, and in the face of all of this, one of the great stories to come out of Trundle is how the communities got together, despite their mental health, despite the physical health of the land, and you've been instrumental in this, and you've been able to keep their spirits up by providing and filling the gaps for what they might need during this drought. Explain to my viewers exactly what you've done.
Well, we've tried to make the school an emotional oasis for kids and the community as well. And what we've done is we've allowed our kids to be empowered by taking things home on the bus. You know, we've given 500 food hampers away. We've given $75,000 into the local economy to try to keep our supermarket going. We've provided every child here with a school uniform. We've provided every child with a school pack. You know, we're currently doing pamper packs for mums so that kids can take home and say, Mum, you are an important person in this whole thing. Dad's doing a lot of the work as tradition, but Mum, you're important. And I just want people to know that drought is really tough on women because I'll give you an example. I had a farmer's wife say to me only a few days ago, she got up in the morning, she felt good, she went and she dusted all the house and she got things right, and she said at 4 o'clock that afternoon, a dust storm come through, and she said, I'm beaten. I'm not doing it anymore. Yeah. And like, there's a very proud woman that's basically said, I'm giving up. We've done little things too, like we've put showers into our school. We had 4 showers that were derelict that were just used for storage. We put new heads on them. We put washing machines in. We've given our senior girls some formal dresses, so even though it's very, very difficult financially, they can wear a new dress to the formal, which is on tonight, actually.
You've created Trundle Central School as almost, for many of these families, a second home. Yeah,
well, certainly for the kids. The parents come in and we have waves of people coming in for showers and using the washing machines, and then we don't have them for a few days. But what we have done is we've said to our kids through our actions that everything's important and you're important and we're going to get through this. Right. What that looks like, I don't know, Chris, but that's what we've said to our kids. And I've had kids tell me that they don't want Christmas presents last year. So a beautiful organisation in Sydney called Thread Together, they packaged up all these wonderful Christmas presents, and every child in my school got a Christmas present, and every child got some new clothes. And, that's... people take it as just a part of life, that you can have a warm shower and you can wash your clothes, or you can get new clothes and do things like that. Yeah. But this drought is taking away that normality from our kids, and we are determined, the staff here at this school and myself, that that's not going to happen.
We're going to try. You've also got something planned for this Christmas.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not going to say it over the air because
okay.
It's a little bit of a surprise, but it's going to be bigger and better than last year. Yeah. And
what you're doing there and what Trundle has done for itself has made headlines on the BBC, China News has covered it, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane media, national media have covered what's going on. It's quite extraordinary. And you've had support in terms of sponsorship. There are towns and there are individuals who want to sponsor Trundle, the town. Am I right?
Absolutely. We have Pamela Rotary Club that came down, and we lost all our gardens, which was heartbreaking to me, and I imagine for the kids too. And, the locals just think I'm a little bit silly in some ways, and maybe they're right, in that I thought, no, I'm not going to not have those gardens in the school. I'm going to actually put that garden back and try my hardest to keep that going. If that involves that I have to go and buy tanker loads of water and I have to hand do this garden, I'm determined to do it.
Brilliant.
And Pamela Rotary Club come down and did the whole lot for us. We've had other clubs donate water tanks, because I'm thinking I'm putting all these water tanks in for when it rains. I'm going to capture as much water as I can to keep us going for that little bit longer, because we just have to. I just can't be the person that shows the 110 kids in this school that I've given up, because what sort of message does that send to them? Yeah, exactly. We've flogged our school bus to the stage that the rattles are now becoming expensive. I used to tell the kids they're character building, the rattles in the bus, but they're not anymore. So, and then the Variety Club, a fantastic group of people, have donated half the cost of a new bus to us. So now we've just got to fundraise like hell and, do the best we can just to get the rest of it. And that bus is a welfare measure, because what it does is it allows the kids to jump on the bus and go and experience other cultures and people and that type of stuff.
Yeah, keep their life ongoing, because life comes to a standstill in the middle of a drought.
Yeah, like last week we ripped up tar, like I hate tar. I don't know why they ever put it in schools, but I ripped up about probably 30 metres of tar and I put some turf down there, and the kids were looking at me like the old guy's finally lost it. I said, mate, this is what we're doing to the kids. I said, I'm growing that grass to show you that it's still possible, because when you leave our gate, you go onto dirt. When you go onto your farm, you go onto dirt. Like we don't have enough water to keep all our lawns alive to the stage we'd like to in town. So that's not happening. But when you get in this school, you look at that grass and you tell me that this thing is beating us, and I can tell you it hasn't.
How good is that? One of the hardest things that you have to contend with is the spirit of those children at your school. How do you lift their spirits in the midst of all of that?
Mate, I just change something every week. It could be something really, really small, or it could be something huge. Like we've just introduced to our Year 9 boys that we've got a whole heap of cars that we've, scrounged from around the district, and now they're pulling apart cars and looking at, setting up a little industry for themselves. I put graffiti walls in. I've got graffiti cars where they can, if they're having a really bad day, they can come to me and say, Southon, look, I've designed this, can I go and spray it on the car? So even though it puts me behind with the, important administration work that you have to do, I go there and stand and watch them paint the car, and I can see that they get taller. I might be mad, but they just look like they get taller. So we've done things like that. We've put, things like art swap programs with Sydney schools, and, they can draw. We're Skyping ex-students that, we've had students that had to move to Western Australia to get work, and, our kids get to Skype them in the morning and do things like that, and we maintain those social relationships. So, look, what you've got to do, I think, as a school principal, is you've got to show kids that it doesn't matter how bad it gets out there in relation to the physical climate, that inside your school you are safe, you're cared for, and for those 6.5 hours, you can just release a little bit of that tension in a positive way. Yeah. Okay, so all those things are little things, but it all comes together in the end, I hope.
You got more than hope. You know exactly what you're doing, which is why you're being acclaimed by so many, and even in the regional awards, you're in the semi-final for all of that. I know you don't want to talk about that, but I'll let my viewers know we've got our eyes on what happens in November, and hopefully you'll win that award, because what you're doing is quite extraordinary. What can city folk do for you, though, John?
Mate, I want this town to survive. So if you're going down the Newell, just when you get to Parks, and you might spend a little bit of money in Parks because Parks is suffering too in Forbes, just turn onto the Bogan Way and come through Trundle and spend some money in my supermarket. It's not my supermarket, but the supermarket of the town, and, maybe buy a hamburger or something like that. Yep. And drop into the school and say good day, and like our kids will welcome you with open arms, because it's got to the stage that the local economy cannot maintain the shops anymore, because the farmers just can't spend any more money. They're in survival mode now. Yep. Because if it goes another 12 months, they'll be in crisis mode. Yep. But money from you people, from the good people of Sydney and Melbourne and the great parts of Australia, that can save us. And you dropping in and saying hello to our kids, and, maybe bringing a few non-perishable goods or something that we can just make another food package up for, it will keep us going, mate. And it's not only this town. Like, my heart's in this town, but if you can drop into any small country town and spend some money, it will make so much difference.
Well said. You're an inspiration. I'm so glad we've got you on the air tonight on the program. All the very best, and we will be in touch, JohnSouthon. Thank you so much for your time.
It's an absolute pleasure, Chris. Thank you.
Wouldn't he make an outstanding Australian of the Year? You bet he would. I'm out of here, off to the footy to get a little bit rowdy. I hope you enjoyed the program this week. Up next, the Bolt Report with Andrew Bolt. I'll be back on The Outsiders on Sunday and right here again next week for Peter Credlin. I hope you can join me then. Enjoy the rest of your night. Have a great weekend. This is Chris Smith.
Harvey